Invocation and pledge. Dear Lord, just thank you for the many blessings you've given us. Thank you for us, the holiday of Thanksgiving, where we give thanks for all the things you've done for us. Be with us tonight. Give the council wisdom and courage to do what's best for the town. And everything we do and say, we give you all the praise and glory. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. And I'll turn it over to Alex. Alex has got a couple of things he wants to do before we start the meeting.
Great, thank you. Max, do you mind introducing Matt Dillard, our new code enforcement officer?
I'm excited to announce we have hired a new code enforcement officer. His name is Matt Dillard. And he's worked with PD for 6 years.
Yeah, just over,
Yeah. And we're really excited to have him. I just want to make sure you guys got him.
Welcome, Matt.
All righty.
Thank you.
All righty.
And Eunice, do you mind reminding everybody about the Christmas tree lighting ceremony coming up, please?
Yeah, of course. So this Saturday, we have Christmas in the park from 3 to 6 p.m. The tree is actually up. You won't see it lit yet. It'll officially be lit on Saturday, and we'll keep it up for the rest of the year. You'll see the lights already on in the park. So, and this year we're adding a Christmas market. So Sunday market is about 20 vendors set up so people can do their Christmas shopping. And please pray for no rain, unless it snows. So, woohoo!
Very done in prayer.
And then I'm telling people to light, what time are we going to light the tree, you figure?
Yes, sir. So Tori will be sending you an email in the morning, and we're going to do the same thing like we've done years past. 5:45, we'll kind of start the ceremony, and
Okay.
then it'll be lit about 5:50.
Well, good. I've told everybody about 5:30, so. All right, thank you, Eunice.
Thank you.
All righty, next up is our public comments, and we have one signed up to speak, but if you'd like to speak on any topic, and you didn't know you were supposed to sign up, we'll let you speak, but Ms. Gaddy? Just give us your name and address again. And
Sure. So I'm Anna Gaddy. Address is 3304 Timber Mill Drive in Stallings, North Carolina, 28104. All right, so first I just wanted to thank you all, Mayor Dunn and the Town Council, for allowing me to speak again. And I do thank you for all of your efforts in trying to kind of progress things with the neighborhood. At this time, I'm still feeling very uneasy though, and I'm not quite pleased with the results. I've tried to get back to normalcy with like walking my dogs around the neighborhood on a daily basis, and I'm continuing to see holes in different areas that have not been filled and more that are popping up. They've done a lot of like patch up work and kind of trying to fix things. But while they are telling me that everything is resolved, they haven't produced any like documentation or anything to guarantee these things. So I've been requesting reports both from the town, like the soil compaction reports, inspection reports, also geotech reports, and I'm not really getting anything, no type of guarantee. Ryan's also not willing to extend any of the warranties, with all of this starting within 3 months of me moving into a brand new home. Again, I've been dealing with this since June, and now we're coming up on the holidays, and while most of you guys are probably decorating for Christmas and making your homes all cozy and everything, I can't do that. I'm not feeling safe in the home, not let alone the neighborhood. And I feel like 2 basic needs of every human is like food to eat and a shelter and a place that can be a sanctuary and you feel comfort. And I'm not feeling that right now. I'm glad that I can be an advocate for my neighborhood because I know there's other concerns out there, and those neighbors may have not come forth if it wasn't for me kind of encouraging them to. But I'm here again just asking if you guys can help me get some sort of report, some sort of results. I've been told that the soil compaction and soil tests they've run, the results are not in. But even the original results that I've requested, they have not been able to provide, which makes me feel very uneasy. And I feel like none of this is really ethical. I feel like there's something that just isn't right with this, and it doesn't sit well with me where I can't even live in my home and feel safe.
all right, well, thank you, Ms. Gaddy.
Thank you.
Ask one,
Yeah, you want to ask a question?
just, do we have a list of the type of things that, kind of just an email list of the things that you're looking for?
I can send a list. I've requested it from, I know I had emailed Kevin Parker. I think I sent it originally to Erin, and she kind of looped in Kevin, Max. I know Kevin sent me the utility reports and then also the roadway reports. He said that that's all the town had. So I don't know if there's someone else I should be reaching out to. My neighbor, Roman, has requested, he's requested from the county the same thing. And Mark Griffin, the Director of Building Code Enforcement, has not emailed him back. He's emailed at least 3 times. So I'm not sure if we're not reaching out to the right people. I requested also geotech reports from our HOA. They told me they weren't privy to that information, and I need to reach out to Ryan, but Ryan's telling me they don't have the results. So I'm just going in circles here.
All right, well, thanks for giving us an update. Alex, can you follow up with Ryan on our meeting with him and see what they are saying? All right, did anybody else wish to speak on any topic? I mean, we have one that signed up for the public hearing, but if not, we have a consent agenda there. Anybody have any additions or comments, questions about anything on the consent agenda?
Mayor, I move approval of the consent agenda as offered.
All right,
I'll second.
motion by Mr. Richardson, second by Mr. Ayers. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. And agenda approval, any, Alex wants to add, what's the contract here?
Yeah, it's for resurfacing inspection services contract.
So we'll make that, let's see. We'll make that 10A, just at the end. Max is here all night anyway, so not like you get home 10 minutes early. All righty. Any other changes? Can I get a motion on the agenda then?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay.
Has changed.
As changed.
Motion by Heather, second by Ms. Drake. Oh, yeah, Ms. Drake. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Oh, ayes have it. All righty. First up, Max, text amendment 23.09.02.
Council, hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. And if I speak really fast, please let me know. I have, several items back to back. So, all right. So this is TX 230902 for eminent domain signage. As you know, we have road widenings for Monroe Road. We have the Potter Pleasant Plains road widening, and they're taking away businesses' signs. And so we've been contacted by several businesses, like I think it's called New Asia Market now, and they're trying to put it back the sign that they originally had before, but they're unable to because our sign regulations don't match. So staff took it upon themselves to write a text amendment to allow replacement of signs based on eminent domain. So for example, road widening taking away a sign. So we added a new section to Article 17.4-2. So when a lawful sign is removed or displaced due to eminent domain, if they can meet all the sign regulations, no additional requirements need to be met. And then we added also B, if the sign cannot be replaced in a location that complies with existing regulations, we can approve a sign that does not exceed the size or height. The development administrator, myself, can approve a sign that does not exceed the height or size, is reasonably located for traffic safety, and may or may not comply with setbacks, so they could be shifted a little bit based on where the road widening or eminent domain is taking place. So, planning board also recommended approval at their October meeting, and staff recommends approval to the text amendment to address the displacement of signs due to eminent domain. It also helps maintain the health, safety, and appearance of properties where signs are being removed due to eminent domain. you have any questions?
All right, any questions for Max?
Just one. I take it that in these particular situations, they're taking down the existing sign and going to put it back up? Or is this more because of the way that they're taking up the land, there's just not enough right of way, and so that's kind of the
That is,
situation?
yeah, that is a scenario. Let me revisit the New Asia sign. So for example, where the widening's taking place is taking away their pylon sign, the 18-foot sign.
Right.
Our ordinance doesn't allow 18-foot signs anymore. And if they take that sign away, they're afraid since it's so old, they won't be able to replace it. And so with this text amendment passing, they would be able to replace it with a brand-new pylon sign as long as it didn't exceed the height or size.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha.
Any other questions, comments?
Is there any discussions, Mayor or Max, the planning board, of unintended consequences or things that might come up?
Planning board did mention having all businesses or signage come into compliance with the ordinance. But some like I keep bringing up the New Asia sign, it doesn't really make sense for them to come into the ordinance because our ordinance only allows 8-foot monument signs maximum. And that area has had that pylon sign there for 30 years. And we've had previous ordinances that allowed pylon signs.
We should expect that sign to be removed, but a similar height, size sign to be in its place.
Yeah, a new modern one.
Further into the property because of the setback.
Correct.
And why do we not allow the pylon signs? Just for curiosity.
It just was not included in the ordinance in 2018. I think, I don't know if there's really a negative stigma towards pylon signs, but I do think that it just was not included because they may have been. I'm not aware of why
Yeah.
in 2018.
All right, this is a public hearing, so is anybody, we don't have anybody signed up to speak, so I'll close the public hearing. Any comments from staff?
I do have one question.
So under the current ordinance, they would either have to put the sign exactly how it is, so they would have to put it in storage and put it back up, the exact sign. Or they'd have to come into compliance with the current ordinance and put a brand new sign, like the tallest would be a monument sign. I think for that specific example, they're worried that if they do take it down, put it into storage, it may break and they may not be able to replace it exactly how it is. And the second example is they want to create a newer modern pylon sign than the 30-year-old one. They still want the same pylon sign, but they want it to be nicer. But they're not allowed to under our current ordinance.
A little bit of a concern with grandfather, when your grandfather new sign is non-conforming.
Right, as long as it doesn't exceed, the height or size. But it would be only for signage and eminent domain though, only. It doesn't apply to, let's say, like a car hitting the sign. It's only if like a government is widening the road and they force them to take their sign down.
All right. Any other comments, questions? What's the pleasure of the council then on this text amendment 23.09.02? Motion by Ms. Grooms.
Second.
Second by Mr. Scholl. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. That's unanimous. All right, we have a statement of consistency and reasonableness on text amendment, zoning amendment text 23.09.02. The request is to amend the Stallings Development Ordinance Article 17 sign regulations to add sign regulations for removing or replacing signs due to eminent domain. So can I get a motion on that? By Ms. Grooms?
I'll second.
second by Mr. Ayers. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, thank you. Next up is text amendment 23.09.03. So I'll open the public hearing and turn it over to Max.
All right, thank you, council. Back again, I'm just kidding. So this is TX 230903 for conditional zoning vested rights. Over the years, we've had multiple conditional zonings lose their vested rights. Currently, a conditional zoning vested right, after the council has approved a conditional zoning, they have 2 years to start the development. We have a few developments have lost their conditional zoning vested rights because of infrastructure issues like sewer capacity, where they haven't even invested anything or spent any money or applied for any permits, waiting on sewer capacity. So staff has written a text amendment to include additional options for developers that are losing, or developments that have been approved by council with conditional zoning. And we want to, since they've been approved by council, we want to give them additional options to extend their vested rights. So I've rewritten the following ordinance to say the property, if losing vested rights, shall revert to their previous zoning classification, which is already in the ordinance. I just rewritten 1, 2, 3, 4, rewritten that. 2, the development administrator, myself, may initiate a different zoning for that property within 6 months of losing their vested rights. That's already in the ordinance as well. I just added a timeline for 6 months. Number 3 is actually the newest language. Before the date of the vested rights expiration, the development administrator may approve vested rights up to 24 additional months, only one time, due to delayed infrastructure improvements. For example, sewer capacity, if they can prove substantial evidence and good cause shown. So they'd have to make a case to me prior to them losing their vested rights. Once they've lost their vested rights, they have to go back to council. And then option 4 is already an option in the ordinance, apply for zoning vested rights. That gives them additional option to get vested rights, but that has to go through council again. So option 3 would allow them not to go through council again, like they did with the conditional zoning. They just get up to another 24 months. Planning board recommended approval of this in October. And then given losing all these conditional zonings vested rights, staff recommends approval. It gives developers and developments additional opportunities due to infrastructure and limitations.
All
Any
right.
questions?
Thank you, Max. Yep. Any questions, comments?
Of course. So I knew that there was a limitation on development agreements. I wasn't aware that there was limitations on conditional zoning. So, I mean, if somebody comes to us, even on their own property, and requests, whatever it is, they actually have to act on that conditional zoning. Is that what I understand here?
Within 2 years.
Within 2 years.
Apply for a permit, contribute significant monetary contributions to their development. Some just sit on it waiting for sewer capacity, and they don't apply for anything.
Mr. Shong, this only applies to conditional zoning, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so think conditional zoning, that's a pretty elaborate developed site plan. The developer, the property owner, whoever's coming before the board and making that petition, it's a fully thought out, laid out plan. So it's not just somebody coming in and saying like, hey, I want to put a shed or I want to rezone it. It's a conditional zoning where the board has come in, adopted a specific plan, and set conditions as part of that zoning. So it's pretty specific at that point.
And the kind of where I was going was, do we have a similar issue with our development agreements?
So they do have timelines laid out in the development agreements, but some of them have, 5 or more years vested rights. And we have not run into any issues with the development agreements yet.
Yeah, but it seems like my calculations are correct. Probably within the next 2 years, we probably will start to run into some if we don't see some development, right?
It's possible, yes. But the options for the development agreements is that just like a conditional zoning would have to come back for a conditional zoning, they would have to come back for another development agreement amendment to increase those vested rights.
Okay, so they wouldn't have to go back through the entire process. They would just,
It's possible, it depends case by case, I think.
okay.
But it's possible they might not have to go through the entire process if they just want to amend the vested rights years, but I'd have to talk to an attorney to review the development agreement.
And Councilmember Ayers, if I remember correctly, when we first started doing development agreements, we didn't know that the sewer capacity issue would be what it is, right? Where capacity is running dry and threatening to develop in the future. Back in, I guess, 2018, when we started, we just didn't know that. I think it was some of the later ones we did, if I recall correctly, and this is off the cuff, so don't hold me to it, but I believe that
And taped.
we started putting in language to try to address that and extend it out a little bit further, just as a matter of fairness.
All right. So my last question is, usually there's a triggering mechanism for one of these changes. Are we seeing a conditional zoning that is getting ready to pop that is waiting for this, I guess?
Yeah, we have one, Bailey Mills, the additional 19 townhomes.
Okay.
I can't believe it's almost been already almost 2 years since we discussed that.
Wow.
But yeah.
And that's the
one.
ones right here, right?
Yep, they have an extension to their neighborhood, that's one.
Okay.
That I think they'll lose vested rights in the beginning of the next year.
Really? Wow. Okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Any other comments, questions?
This is, you'll laugh at how specific I'm gonna be, and I'm not the grammar police, so I may be wrong. But when we say, and I'm only saying this because this is the text amendment that you've written, but when it says, due to delayed infrastructure improvements, parentheses, i.e., lack of sewer capacity. I understand i.e. to mean, in effect, sewer capacity. Do you mean E.G, for example,
Yes.
sewer capacity?
That's a mistake
And
that I
it
can
could
correct.
include road, okay. Just before that goes in the code, check the grammar
Yep.
rules on that. I'm not sure myself, but it just struck me as funny.
I can just put for example instead of any acronyms, just so we don't run into any issues.
Okay.
It is each.
Gee,
I
thank
could do EG. Yeah.
All righty. Anybody, it's a public hearing, anybody wish to speak about this text amendment? All right, I'll close the public hearing. Any other questions, comments from council? What's the pleasure of the council? Yeah, just,
Okay. Make a motion to approve,
yeah, to add, read that part, just to add all the thing in A.
to staff request a text amendment.
All right, thank you. Motion by Ms. Grooms,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Ayers. All in favor?
All right.
All right, the ayes have it. All right, we have a statement of reasonableness, consistent reasonableness for text amendment 23.09.03. The request is a text amendment to add vested rights extension for conditional zonings, CZ, in the Stallings Development Ordinance, Article 5.4-3I. Can I get a motion on that?
Make a motion to approve the statement of consistency and reasonableness.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ayers. And a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Grooms, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you.
Hey, Max, do you need a break or?
Hey, that's why I put Stuart right in the middle.
Oh, okay. Oh, good plan, good
Oh,
plan.
yeah, let's do it then.
Good
Welcome.
evening, council.
I'll open the public hearing.
Now, this is your first time, right?
This is my first.
Oh, so we're supposed to be in like really mean mode, right?
Coming before
Just
council.
checking.
Well, he's got a presentation.
I did. Max instructed me well, I guess. So the first text amendment tonight is TX 230904. Applicants are requesting a new use to our use table to be allowed by right in VSR, Vehicle Service and Repair Zoning District. The first one is going to be for a coffee roastery. This would be for the manufacturing, production process of coffee beans or coffee grounds, not a coffee shop. So similar to a brewery, you might have a location that only brews beer and a location that brews beer and serves beer. This would just be a location that produces, manufactures coffee and coffee-related products or any incidental uses to creating that coffee or coffee grounds. VSR is going to be the 8 parcels on Stallings Road right here in front of Berry Plastic, on our side of Berry Plastic. In the dark blue, you'll see VSR. Again, they are the only 8 parcels that are going to be affected by this text amendment. Staff does recommend going through and approving this text amendment. We find that VSR might be too restrictive of an area for a street like Stallings that does have a lot of through traffic. We think restricting it to just vehicle service and repair might not be meeting the needs of the community and future needs of a possible downtown development area. So we think opening up that commercial space would be a benefit. We also, last month, brought a text amendment that was approved by council for Acts of Sourdough, which was a very similar product of doing bakery products and bakery goods. We also find that it is in pattern with the town's economic development plan, opening up business opportunities here in the downtown area.
All right. Thank you, Stuart. Any questions?
Of course. Come on, man. No, I mean, so this won't have any retail component to it. It will just be a manufacturing facility.
So, I mean, if there's any storefront retail, if the applicant's main product is online, but if you needed to produce coffee, I'm assuming incidentally you would need to sell that coffee, and if you need to sell it from your storefront, I think we would say that's part of the coffee production. But like in the drinking and partaking of like a coffee shop or lounging in the storefront would not be a part of coffee roastery.
All right. Any other questions? Just one? All right.
Sorry. It seems like we keep adding things to VSR. Why not just rezone the whole area and then, or
Sure, staff does believe in the near future we will be doing some research into doing a complete rezoning for VSR. We are just kind of letting the public show that they are needing some expansion of the zoning district so that we have a little bit of firepower behind what we bring forward of the need of the community would be served better if we do go ahead and just rezone this area to allow for a more commercial base in a downtown district.
Well, that's a good question, Graham, because I'll date myself. In the 80s, when I was a planner, the way it worked was anything above VSR was allowed. So if somebody wanted to build a single-family home, they could do it. They didn't have to come there. So anything above that, use. Now that's not the case. It's more restrictive. So, but that would alleviate that problem. Somebody wants to put, so you don't have to rezone the whole thing. Just anything above it. Just my 2 cents worth, so. All righty, I'll close the public hearing, and then what's the pleasure of the council?
This is Heather's last meeting.
I know.
We're letting her make all the motions tonight, if you're wondering.
Yeah, you're on a roll.
I make a motion to approve text amendment 23.09.04.
05. Oh, no, 4, excuse me.
For,
Yeah.
to request a text amendment to add coffee roastery as
All right, thank you. Can I get a second on that?
second.
Second by Ms. Drake. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. All right, we have a statement of consistency and reasonableness on this, on zoning amendment text 23.09.04. The request is from Dennis and Vlad Pinchuk, submitted a text amendment application to request coffee roastery as a listed use in the vehicle service and repair VSR zoning district. Can I get a motion on this? Motion to approve the text amendment by Ms. Grooms, second by Ms. Drake. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Hey, text amendment 23.09.05.
Yes, the next text amendment is going to be the same applicants requesting for the same text amendment in VSR to a new use. We've titled tutoring and mentoring services to be allowed by right in VSR. Mentoring and tutoring services are going to be anything that would be short of educational, vocational. There's no certificate, but it would be something like Mathnasium you might have heard of, which is a math tutoring service. There's also a company called SCORE that does some tutoring services as well. And then mentoring would be something like Big Brother or Big Sister, teaching people skills, household skills, car skills, how to, change a light bulb, change your oil, something like that for children who might not have had that opportunity in their household growing up. Again, VSR is going to be those same 8 parcels. We do recommend this, and we do find that it does line up with Section 3 of our Comprehensive Land Use Plan, which identifies identity and involvement in our vision for the town of Stallings. We think that the mentoring and tutoring services is going to give us a space for our citizens to volunteer and participate in increasing the identity of the town. So we think that as a whole, this is going to be for the greater good of Stallings and give our citizens kind of one of those places that is helping out their neighbors.
All right. I got a question. How about parking?
Parking would be to the minimum parking. They would have to meet the minimum parking standards for their type of use. So if they're doing school, or there's a school minimum parking, there could even be some retail depending on what their service is. So I would say Mathnasium would be more of the retail or office space and the minimum parking.
But is there enough parking there now to meet the requirement?
Right now, so the applicants are applying specifically for the parking lot that was just repaved. And I believe that parking lot is at 12 parking spaces max. Do you know?
I don't know how many parking spaces are provided, but in the parking table chart, we probably consider this under general retail and then do a calculation based on that once they apply for the use permit and making sure they have enough parking spaces.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
So that is the closest lot toward Berry Plastics?
Correct.
Okay. So I think there used to be a car repair facility, but it shut down.
Correct. The applicant.
Are they renting different parcels?
It's the same part. The building is, has 2 units, and the applicants are wanting to do one in one unit, the other in the other unit on the same parcel.
All righty. Any other questions? All right. Anybody, since this is a public hearing, so anybody in the audience wish to speak on this text amendment? I'll close the public hearing. Any other comments from council? Questions? What's the pleasure of the council?
Well, I would like to make a motion to approve text amendment 23.09.05. Text amendment to add mentoring services,
Okay. Motion by Ms. Grooms. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Scholl. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right. A statement of consistency and reasonableness for zoning amendment text 23.09.05 is a text amendment application to request tutoring and mentoring services as a listed use in the vehicle service and repair zoning district. Can I get a motion on approving this? All right, motion by Ms. Grooms. Second by Ms. Drake. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank y'all. All right, number 7 there, Max, text amendment 23.10.01. I'll open the public hearing.
So the reason we have so many items is because one of the planning board in recent months didn't have a quorum. So, yeah. Just wanted to kind of give you a FYI on why you're seeing so much.
Spotlight stealer, that's what you wanted, just a whole max meeting.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay, let me find this memo real quick. Excuse me. Okay, yes. So this is
All eyes are on me tonight, yes.
yeah. So you can make a motion.
A little pressure.
to. So this is TX 2310.01. This is for an amendment to outdoor storage supplementary regulations 10.1-36. At the August 14th council meeting, council directed staff to look into amending the supplemental regulations for outdoor storage. And I looked at it, I researched it, I discussed it with our land use attorney, and the fastest, easiest, simplest way to achieve outdoor storage text amendment for what the council was looking for is a pretty simple fix right now, but the only language is in 10.1-36C 1A. You have to have 5 acres to have outdoor storage, and now we added, or if a property is zoned industrial, you may have 3 acres to have outdoor storage. This was the easiest, simplest fix to the ordinance for outdoor storage. I think it helps preserve the intent of the ordinance by also helping out businesses that are industrial and industrial outdoor storage uses. So staff does recommend approval of TX 231001.
Thank you, Max. Any questions, comments?
Just one statement, clarity. This is the kind of the preview discussion that we had earlier that you brought to the council, right? Kind of
Yeah, I mean,
actualization of it.
it is, yeah. If there are no questions, I won't speak, but, yeah, we talked about this a couple months back, about the reason why, so I'm okay to
Okay.
answer questions, but yeah, I'd support it. I'll support it if Heather will make the motion.
All right, this is a public hearing. Any comments from the audience on this text amendment? All right, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments?
I don't have one readily available.
Now, let me review this, Graham. That's a great point. In addition, let's see, may I? There are 103 industrial zone parcels in Stallings. Only 10 are larger than 5 acres, so only 10 can have outdoor storage now. None of these are in our primary business park, Union West. Parcels in the Union West range from 1 to 4.7, so just under. That's the big blob in the middle there, purple. With this amendment, an additional 10 parcels would be eligible to have limited, so 10 out of 103 get extra flexibility. 5 of these are in Union West Business Park, 5 are in the Smith Farm Road Small Area Plan. Only 4 of these 5 abut residential zoning, which is sometimes the concern with outdoor storage, but only 4 of the 5, only 4 of these 10 abut residential zoning, but 2 have an existing wooden fence, 1 has a row of trees, and 1 is undeveloped. And this proposal contemplates screening and landscaping measures to mitigate the visual effects. So bottom line, 103 parcels, 5 can do it now, 10 can do it now, an additional 10 would be allowed to do it. So not overwhelming, but helpful, I think, to industrial development.
And then just B also still applies on top of that. They would still have to provide for the screening and buffering along all site perimeter of the area designated for outdoor storage. Type D buffer.
Is there
And I can zoom in.
what they can put out?
Not once they're approved for outdoor storage.
All right, any other comments, questions? All right, what's the pleasure of the council? right, thank you, Ms. Grooms. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Richardson. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. And statement of consistency and reasonableness for text amendment 23.10.01. The request is Stallings Development Ordinance to amend outdoor storage, acreage, and zoning requirements Article 10.1-36 outdoor storage. So, can I get a motion to approve this?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Groom, second by Mr. Richardson. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, thank you. All right, next, we have a rezoning, 23.10.01. So I'll open the public hearing.
I promise this is my last one. So, thank you, council. This is rezoning, 2310.01. It's a general rezoning from C74 to industrial. So Steel Point requests a general rezoning at 500 Union West Boulevard to rezone from C74 to industrial. There are some differences in uses from industrial to C74. It's like industrial allows for manufacturing, general warehouses, and C74 allows for more retail-like businesses. This is the property at 500 Union West. There's currently a building there that's, believe it's vacant and was used for manufacturing previously. We rezoned it to C74 in 2018 because it once abutted 74. Now it just only shares Richard Baker frontage now that the expressway is complete. So it doesn't face 74 anymore. This is the aerial of the property. You can see that it's the entryway to Union West Business Park Industrial Park, and this is zone C74, and the rear of it is rear parcels are all zoned industrial and purple.
All the purple ones are industrial?
Yes,
Okay.
currently, yes. And then their future land use plan doesn't have any future land use identified for this area. It's a little bit outdated. It was made in 2016 before the expressway was built and completed. So it's still NCDOT right-of-way right now, still, until we do a future land use plan update. The small area plan, though, however, does show this area as industrial, and that's why staff's recommending approval of this rezoning. It does match our land use plan, our small area plan for industrial, and it is the Union West Business Park is an industrial park and was built with that intent, so we recommend approval. The applicant's also here, if you would
All right,
like them to
let's
speak.
see if anybody has any questions for you first, Max.
Okay.
Any questions for? Okay. All right, it's a public hearing, so we do have one person signed up to speak, Ms. Deborah Edwards. And if you could,
Property for you. Let me know if you need anything else. I'll be right behind you.
you can just state your name and address, and that's it.
Well, thank you. My name's Deborah Edwards. My husband, Mick Edwards, and I own a business at 200 Beltway Boulevard, which is, if you turned into the park, went about 100 yards or so, took a left on Beltway. Our business is right there on the right. We're a manufacturing business. We make big, heavy-duty trailers there. It's our rezoning application before you now. Before I get into that, I'd just like to tell you just a little bit more about Mick and I and our current business, our current company there in Union West Business Park. I retired from my career in legal and business in the energy industry back in 2016 and joined my husband Mick then at MMDI. He is the true entrepreneur in the family. With a partner, started a business that was in the large equipment distribution and services industry, and that business eventually became the large equipment rental business for the Home Depot. He bought this little company that was going out of business, renamed it MMDI, because he saw a need for buy our equipment trailers. We also supply heavy-duty trailers to big OEMs that make generators, pumps, and things like that are mounted on ours. So our trailers are shipped all across the United States, some into Canada, We have grown that business. When we bought it, it was kind of going out of business, less than 20 employees. We now provide over 90 good-paying jobs right here in Stallings. And so we're really proud of that. So we're growing. We really have pushed the limits of our current business there in Union West Business Park. We bought a piece of property next door to that piece of property, and we hope to build a building over there. But that's taking a lot longer than in our experience that we realized it would. The permitting, the GC selection, the skyrocketing costs and value engineering. And so in the meantime, this piece of property came up for sale, and we had a look at it and determined we could do final assembly, not fabrication. That would all still be done on the Beltway Boulevard property, but we could do final assembly in this building. On this property, we need to make a few small changes to the loading dock and entry door. We need some outside storage. But this would help us right away continue to grow our business. And so that's why we purchased the property. So right there in orange, I guess, is the piece of property, the 2-acre piece of property that we're seeking to rezone from C-74 to industrial. But that next parcel over, we also purchased. It's zoned industrial already, as this one was when the building was built. So we bought the 2-acre parcel and the 1-acre parcel. We now want to take the 2-acre parcel back to industrial so that they're the same. That will give us just over 3 acres there. And pursuant to the text amendment that you just approved, we'd be applying then to do some outside storage. We don't build to inventory, but the frames that are built at the other property, as I think Mr. Zong mentioned, the rest, most of it is owned industrial. And so we'd like to, we respectfully request that you change the zoning here to industrial as well.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy
thank
to
you for-
answer any questions.
Well, thank you for telling us about your business. Thank you for being in Stallings.
Thank you. We're proud to be here.
Glad to have you. Thank you, sir. All righty, I'll close the public hearing. Any questions, comments from council? And so what's the pleasure of the council on this rezoning?
I make a motion to approve the rezoning I don't like that.
That's good enough.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
good for me. All right, we have a motion to approve the rezoning.
I'll second.
So, motion by Ms. Groom, second by Ms. Drake. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it.
It's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, no, there you
It's
go.
good.
You got the most important part. There you go.
And
Statement
I'm
of.
supposed to wear glasses, so.
All right, the request on this zoning amendment, RZ 23.10.01 is Steel Point requests a general rezoning for 500 Union West Boulevard from US 74 Commercial C-74 to Industrial. And what's the pleasure of the council? All right, motion by Ms. Grooms, second by Ms. Drake. All in favor? Ayes have it. All right. Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. and Ms. Edwards.
Thank you.
All right, and this next one might take a while.
I think it will.
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions.
You got a lot of questions? There we go. Here it is. Well, we got a planning board appointment consideration. Probably not.
I was starting to get used to this idea of one person having to do all these.
Long pause.
All righty. Where is it here? Oh, there isn't. Here you go. Okay. Ms. Grooms has applied to be on the planning board. So any questions, comments?
Isn't
Are
there
you
supposed
gonna
to?
remember your glasses?
Yeah.
Oh, I never wear my glasses.
Oh, you gotta be effective with your glasses at the planning board. Chief, you still there? Yeah, you got it.
All right. Well,
Follow her home, see what she does.
yeah, she's completed all the background checks and, yeah. All right. And then she would be effective Tuesday, December 12th, with the term ending March 31, 2025. So what's the pleasure of the council? Or would Ms. Grooms like to make any comment?
You can't make this motion.
Probably not.
I thought there was an essay that was supposed to be submitted with these.
You can make the motion. Then go ahead.
I move that we Ms. Grooms to the planning
You join
board
me?
effective
This shouldn't have
December
been- what?
today, but
Nah,
I couldn't do
No, it needs to be effective.
the executive December, that's right.
All right.
And can you also add the interim, please,
All righty. We got a motion by Mr. Hall, second by Ms. Drake. All in favor? And certainly, the ayes have it, so certainly thank you for doing that, Heather.
How many openings do we have on the board? How many openings on the planning board now, do we know?
I don't know.
Max, how many openings? Yeah, what's the vacancy rate?
So
After,
how many are today? Well, she's taking Lori's place.
Oh, yeah, so Lori, there's four, actually.
That is-
Four.
yeah, I was
Two
gonna say-
regular and then two alternates.
Okay.
Yeah, I was adding Lori in my head.
You know that, excuse me, you know that brochure thing you had at Stallings Fest?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Can you email me a copy of that, please? I have a group I can send that to. Thank you.
And have you gotten anything else? None. Man, there was a lot of arm twisting there. So,
all righty. Alex, you're up there, the council transition plan.
Great, thank you, Mayor, and good evening, everyone. We try to take the same approach when it comes to training and relationship building with our council as we do with our staff, right? Some folks come into elected office having just years and years of experience in local government. Some come with none and just a desire to serve. So our transition support plan is just try to support our new council members as they come on to the board, and at the same time integrate them and try to create an effective and ethical working body. So there's several steps that we used when Councilmember Hall and Councilmember Drake came on 2 years ago now. And the first step is the goal is to provide the council members with a working knowledge, right? I've heard the expression, you come in, you feel like you're drinking from a fire hose, just to try to give them that foundational level knowledge, because the decisions don't stop, right? They keep on coming immediately. And we're hoping to get the new council members comfortable with having that base level foundation so they feel like they can make informed decisions. So we go over the council manager form of government. We go over all departments, our priority settings, our strategic plan. The mayor comes in, he has lunch with them, he sets the tone for respect and his expectations. Ms. Nichols comes in and go over his procedures, votings. We have a mock meeting sometimes so they can see, all right, this is how a motion happens. This is how the meeting progresses. So obviously, this is step one. This is a cost that we can absorb into the budget. This year, Ms. Wadowitz is the only new member we have coming on. So we'll coordinate with her to kind of set up a time, and with the mayor, of course, and Mr. McCarlin. The next step is all newly elected or re-elected council members have to go through ethics training. Everyone on this board has gone through that already. And in the past, what we've talked about, and we haven't talked about it recently, but I wanted to bring it up because the board brought it up before, was to attend as a body, or at least the majority, the UNC School of Government's Essentials of Municipal Government course. Of course, Councilmember Ayers, Councilmember-elect Wadowitz will need the ethics training, but the feedback we've gotten in the past when a lot of council members attend, it's just a good relationship building aspect, right? Good work's built on good relationships. Good relationships are built on regular communication. And so this is optional for everybody on the board who wasn't just reelected or elected. And so I get it. I know everybody's busy, you might not be able to do it, but it is an opportunity if you'd like to do it. And one thing I note, it's not probably as good as being in person. At the same time, on February 22nd and 23rd, there is a online session, so I imagine we could, if the board wanted to do it but didn't want to travel, we could get into a big room and have all the elected officials that wanted to participate do it together in the same room while participating remotely. And then finally, we do our annual retreat. We develop a unified set of priorities, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's not just day of, it's individual interviews ahead of time, and we've done that several years in a row now with success. And then, I couldn't help myself. I love the relationship and team building stuff. If the board does want to pursue that, we could have a workplace Big Five personality assessment. So I recognize that previously the board said, we're not interested in that right now, but I wanted to bring it up just in case with the expectation that the board probably doesn't want to do it. So really the feedback I need from the board is just, yes, we're good with doing this again. And then secondly, are any of the board members interested in attending the school government course with Councilmember Ayers and Councilmember-elect Wadowitz? And then finally, please speak up if you'd like to do the Big Five personality assessment. So, again, the two questions are,
So Stephen you have to go to the,
you have to get ethics training. You may not need to go to the UNC School of Government
okay,
course.
so what are you thinking there, Stephen? Think on it?
Yes, because he kind of just thrusted this at me. I kind of forgot that I had to take this morning.
You don't get those nasty emails from that lady in Chapel Hill?
No.
Oh, man, she was after me.
Oh,
Okay.
man, yeah, no. I mean, obviously, of the ones that are available, probably that January 11th and 12th at Greensboro. I mean, if it's in person.
Well, think about it, and somebody needs to contact Lori and see if she has a date, see if she's interested in doing the online one or attending.
Yeah.
We'll see if anybody else wants to go.
Tell you what, let us do this so we don't, to use an expression I heard last time, make the sausage here. We can do like a doodle poll, something like that, send it out. And anybody that wants to commit can do so. But certainly Laurie will be probably the starting point, what works for her, and then we can build from there. So.
Then, like I told you, I'm not that big into these personality tests, because aren't you really? I mean, I'd almost rather we really didn't do this for you guys, but I mean, I would think just having like a, council dinner or something like that there, just something to, Graham said he was buying, no. So, no, I mean, just something that we can just shoot the breeze and not feel, team build kind of like that there instead of feeling like we're, I don't know, those type of things, personality, it's like, I feel like a spotlight's on me. I'm like, am I answering this right? Am I sure that's my personality. I don't know. It's more nerve-wracking than it is kind of team building, in my opinion.
It's
But
not a lie detector.
I know, but it sort of is.
Might find out something about him that he doesn't want us to find out.
That's
We had
one
a lot of
type of
people
it,
to keep
we could
those.
do a dinner and do a strengths finders. Strengths finders is relatively inexpensive. Okay, sounds good. Strengths finders is out.
Yeah. Thanks for doing all that extra work, Alex, but, you know.
No problem.
Yeah, but all the rest of it, I think the consensus is, looks
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds good. And we'll send out a doodle poll
Yeah, send out a doodle
to
poll.
try to get, first with Stephen and Laurie and see if there's a date that works for both y'all, and then we'll send it out to everybody else.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
And Alex, just out of curiosity, I mean, if it turns out that, I mean, Lori can't do it, and nobody else wants to do it, I mean, do we ultimately have the option of potentially, okay, I'm just gonna go to the Greensboro one?
Of course.
Okay. Okay.
All righty. Next up is our resurfacing inspection services contract, so KP. Oh, no. I thought it was the other way.
This is what I handed out to you before the meeting started. Yeah. I'll pull it up here though too. Good evening, council. Hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Sorry for the late agenda item. My holiday schedule was a little messed up and didn't get this one in time, so I appreciate your flexibility. But hopefully it's easy. Ultimately, we're just requesting council to authorize the town manager to execute a contract with Summit Engineering and Lab Testing to perform construction inspection on the recently approved resurfacing contract. So what they'll be doing is they'll be on site at all times, monitoring the milling, monitoring the proof rolls, making sure the subgrade looks good, making any recommendations if they see something that doesn't look right. They'll also be performing asphalt density tests on the new asphalt that goes down as well. And really just making sure that everything's meeting our standards. And so pretty straightforward. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but ultimately, again, just looking for council's approval to authorize town manager to execute that contract.
Since they were the sole, is that, Melanie, is that, it was under 25,000, is that why it's legal, since they're the sole bidder? Or what's the?
It's a construction inspection, because there's no design or.
Right, then it's informal, it's not formal bidding, it's only formal bids and that's
Oh, okay, thank you. Steve?
So on that same kind of note, then, why couldn't this been part of the, I guess, the, consent agenda? And then second, I mean, Summit Engineering does this work. Do they have like some type of insurance? I mean, they're doing this work, but are they just producing a report or, I guess if they say, oh yeah, everything's great and it falls apart 2 years from now, do they hold some responsibility and some type of insurance capability that we could go back to and say, hey, you said this road met the criteria that we gave and apparently it didn't. So, help me understand how their report does anything other than say, yep, we approve it.
So to answer the first question, this was gonna be on the consent agenda, but again, got my holiday schedule mixed up last week. That's on me, so I apologize for that. Now regarding the report, ultimately what we, as the engineering director, what we tell them is the final say. So Summit would not have we would take their information, their reports, and then have the final say. So we're looking at these reports in real time. If they see something funny, they'll give us a call, have us come out and we'll be on site looking at this stuff and making recommendations. But Red Clay Industries, who got awarded the contract, they have a 1-year warranty period after the fact that they would be responsible to come back and replace anything.
So these are technical documents that they provide
Yes,
that you look at as the engineer and ultimately sign off on?
correct. I wouldn't say sign off specifically, but it's more, hey, we see something. They do provide reports, but it's more, here's what we recommend. If I see something differently, then I'll make a recommendation and that'll be documented.
I mean, you just kind of scared me that the paving company only has a year warranty, but that's okay. All right, I just was curious what we're actually getting for this.
Good question.
Just a curiosity, why you think they were the lone bidder? Is it everybody busy doing other work? Or is it too small?
It's actually, this is exactly what happened last year. It was pulling teeth to try even to get quotes. We reached out to 3 last year, got nothing other than Summit. So I think the scale is just not there.
Summit's fairly ubiquitous in the inspection space in both the public and the private sector. That's, in my experience, they're kind of bread and butter.
Yeah, the only two I know are Froling and Robertson in law. Are they still around? Are you familiar with either one of them?
No, I'm not. We reached out to Terracon.
I mean, they could be out of business by now, but,
I've not heard of them.
the 80s, I was in the planning business, so. All righty. Any questions for Kevin? Oh, and the budget, Alex, this was already a line item? Is that what you said today when we were on the phone?
Yes, sir. It is within budget. It's something we budget for as a routine procedure.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? What's the pleasure of the council?
Not doing that one, huh? All right.
I move that we approve authorize the town manager to execute the inspection material testing service contract with Summit Engineering
There we go. Motion by Mr. Hall,
I'll second.
second by Mrs. Grooms. All in favor? Ayes have it. All righty.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then,
Go ahead, Heather.
I'd like to pass the gavel to Ms. Groom for her last official meeting so she can adjourn us.
Meeting's adjourned.
Oh, you got to call for a vote.
Yeah, you got to
Oh,
call for a
sorry.
vote.
Too much.
You got to call for a vote.
Oh, a vote for what?
Yeah.
To adjourn the meeting?
Yeah.
Make a motion and we adjourn.
Who's
Yeah.
making the motion?
I just
He
did.
did.
Oh.
Motion by Mr. Shaw, second by Mr. Hall. Now bang it. Now say,
If we
we're
say,
adjourned.
if we
Yeah,
say,
wait, y'all didn't say all in favor.
if we say no, do you have to sit here forever?
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, there we go.
Well, Heather,
I only half pay attention.
it's been fun.